Kia ora and welcome to the Pitch Perfect podcast. We are a podcast that aims to educate, empower, and support the female community. That took a lot, guys. Okay, I'm one of your
Oh
hosts,
my gosh.
Melody, and this is my
No, keep going, keep going. This is so good.
okay, and this is Elaine. We're having some issues this morning, so say kia ora.
Hi.
So it's been a hot minute. We've I'm going to say that we keep saying, oh, we're really going to get back into it, and 2024 is our year, and then, we're going to be more consistent with content. And it's kind of been pretty crazy, like for you, especially starting at university and or college, university, um, the scientist that you are, and moving to a
Yeah.
new city, New York, and I mean, that's no excuse, guys, but Elaine is a very busy woman. Whereas on the other hand, I'm a lady of leisure who hasn't worked for almost 6 months. So, trying to find Elaine's time has been quite tricky. But yeah. So what are we going to talk about today, Elaine?
Oh my gosh. Hi, Melody. First of all, that intro took five
Were
minutes
you even
for us
listening?
to film. Yeah, I have, and I'm gonna get to it. I just had to say that we've been recording for over 5 minutes, and it was a lot of giggling. And I missed you. You're right. It's
Yeah.
been like a lot of us being like, we're coming back, we're coming back. And it's not even finding the time to sit down and record. It's finding the time to sit down to record when I know I'll have the time to sit down and edit whatever we record after. I think it's like one of the um, like that's also part of a really big challenge when it comes to just like time. But genuinely, I do want to get back into this really bad. School's really crazy and everything, but I don't know. Heavy Hitters has been inspiring, and there's just been like
Ooh.
a lot of things. I think getting back into working with for season 2 of the league again has been like inspiring. And also when you're kind of like spreading your time out and time management becomes like a really big thing, things almost become like easier to manage because your time is so well divided. And so I know we've said it a lot, but like genuinely, I feel really just like rejuvenated and inspired right now to come back. And today we're just kind of hanging out. It's just the two of us. We put out a poll about what kind of content you guys wanted to see moving forward, and I think that's um been a part of it on the back end for us too, Melody. Like just speaking candidly, um, we are a podcast that aims to educate, support, and empower women, and that's always is the basis of our goals. And finding always new guests and topics that feel relevant and um,
Hmm.
feel just like relevant and powerful to bring to content has been a little bit of a challenge. And so I think that's part of the announcement that we'll get into today is just where we're taking our content from here on out, which is still gonna be we're still have the same goal in mind, but we're also delving into some other fun paths with content, which I think will be rejuvenating for us and for viewers, hopefully. And yeah, and we're also gonna get so we're catching up. We're getting into our new content path, our little announcement that I'm pretty excited about. And then we set out a post for listener questions. So we have quite a few listener questions, so we can discuss those. There's some fun ones in here. But yeah, how have you been? I know you've been like a lady of leisure, but yeah, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. Um, I'm going to be honest that the most fab that I've played was actually at Celebrational. Um, I've I know we've got Road to Nats at right now. I've got two CC events coming up in the next 2 weekends. I haven't played CC since last year. I've played a lot of Blitz, mostly on Teleshow, but it's just been busy on the weekend or doing other stuff and haven't been able to prioritize fab. So I'm really looking forward to Road to Nats. I didn't realize I got a message from a friend about how Kano is kicking ass around the world and has racked up like 48 living legend points or something ridiculous. So yeah, I'm keen to bring my Chiromai, who I'm really rusty on, and see how she fares in this new meta, which I think maybe Victor. Victor's probably going to be a little bit of a challenge. The others are kind of much of a muchness. I think the brutes are pretty straightforward, and maybe Kasai to a certain extent, but I think Kasai will be okay for Dromo. But yeah, I think Victor is just going to try and fatigue me, so I need to kill him with my dragons. But what about you? What are your thoughts? Are you playing any road to nats?
Um, I didn't play any road tennis this last weekend. It's looking like I'm not gonna play in any this coming weekend because tomorrow my parents are coming in town to visit, so they'll be here for a week. So I'm gonna try to get this episode edited today, because things get crazy, things get busy. So they'll be here this weekend. Next weekend there's some road tennis that I have my eye on that I'm planning to go play in. And then I'll be honest, the weekend after that, my life does not go that far into the future right now. So I'm gonna have to
Are
sit
the,
down. I plan like 2 weeks at a time, and that's about as much as I can handle at the moment. Otherwise, I get really overwhelmed and stressed out.
oh no no no, we don't want
But
that.
as
And are
far as
you road to nats?
playing, yeah,
I was
the
going to ask
ones
if they're
that
draft or
the weekend
CC.
after, yeah, the ones that I'm currently planning on playing in are draft. And honestly,
That's
I'm pretty
great.
happy with that. Yeah, I think I have been playing CC on Talishar when I have the time, and I just feel more comfortable in draft right now. I'm still kind of like fumbling around, trying to figure out matchups, trying to figure out a deck that I really like. Um, so I'm pretty happy that they'll be draft. I've been enjoying Heavy Hitters draft a lot. I did go play in my first armory last week since moving to New York, which every time
Yeah,
every
tell us
time
about
that I
your
move, I
armory
like
friends. Who?
right. I like level up. Like I walked into draft for Armory and Michael Fang was there to draft. And yeah, local, cool. And then we have like yeah, Yangshi and apparently Brady Spurlock makes guest appearances here and there. So every time that I like move, I feel like I just like level up on the local scene. There's also just a lot of talented players. I did go to Hartford and I rode up with a group in Hartford, and everyone that I rode up with pretty much made day two of the calling and like
Wow.
well into day two and did really well in the calling. And so those are all locals to me too. Anyway, I just got there. Also, like I think half my locals played in the pro tour. Like they're some good. It's a good local scene. So I was really honestly, I was quite nervous. I was like, oh gosh, like I'm gonna look like a fool. But we had two full
You can
draft
hold your own,
pods,
Elaine.
and yeah, I went 2-1 because we had two full draft pods, so we drafted, and then the winners of each draft pod played each other for the finals. And I ended up coming in third because my only loss was the guy who won the finals for my draft
Yes.
pod. So yes, it was like him, and then the guy he beat in the finals, and then me because he was my only loss, and I was like, oh yeah, look at me.
Flex. That's right.
I it's just the warrior. It's just the warrior is my jam, and I got to play warrior. And I did play in Hartford, and that went really poorly. But it was fun. I went. I woke up that morning in Hartford of the calling, and I was like, I just don't. I hadn't played Kasaya because I didn't get to go to any pre-releases. So I was like, I don't care what I open in my sealed pool. I'm just gonna force Kasai, which is something that I have advocated on this podcast not to do. Do not force your sealed pool. But I did.
No.
I did, and I
No.
was like, the bottom tables are calling me. I played some really fun games.
They've got your
I
name.
went a little crazy at one point. Like at one point, one of the games I kind of was just like memeing it the whole time. Like I was being so chaotic. Like I don't know. We were just like having a lot of fun, but I did like threaten to eat this guy's deck. I don't know. It was it was like
His what?
it was his deck. We were
Oh,
just going back and forth,
dick.
and he was like, yeah, yeah. At the beginning, no, at the beginning of the game, like I took a bunch of damage for no reason, and then like literally no reason. I should have blocked this. I didn't have anything to do. And I was like, hey, I have an idea. Let's just both play our cards and neither of us will block and we'll see who wins. And he was like, no. And this is in like 3 turns later, I'm about to die because I haven't been blocking for no good reason. This was also, let me say, let me say that at this point, not viable for day 2. Okay, this is like round 7 of the calling, and I have like 2 wins. Like, no way we're going. Me and this guy, no way we're going into day 2. If there was like any like anything on the line for this
Remote
game
chance.
aside from Elo, yeah, if there's a remote chance, I would not have acted like this. But yeah, so then I was like, I'm gonna die, and he's like, yeah, you need a block, and I was like, how do you still have all like your life? And I'm dead. And he was like, well, I've been blocking. And I was like, at the beginning of the game, I was like, let's neither of us block. And he's like, I know, but I didn't agree to that. And of course, we're joking, right? This is not, I'm not actually mad at this guy. We were both dying laughing. And so then I was like, wait, if my life hits 0, are you going to win the game? Is that how this works? Because we were just like playing back and forth. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, how can I win? And, you know, he's like, well, I don't know, like, maybe start eating my cards. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat all your cards, eat your whole deck, and then I'll call a judge and be like, he's playing an illegal amount of cards. He's like, well, what if I have 34 cards? Like, and I was like, that's just a risk I take, you know? Like, what if I, you know? So we had a lot of fun. It was a very memorable game. And then after that game, I was like, I need a break. I don't know what's wrong with me. That was a lot of fun, but it was just chaotic energy. So I slept underneath the table and ate some chicken and pickles, and I felt better. Um, and then I
Because
drafted,
it's
and I really
totally
had fun with
normal.
that. I did pretty well. It
Elaine,
was
everyone.
fun.
Yep.
It was fun. I had a great time in Hartford. Yeah, had a great time in Hartford. And I've had a great time with heavy hitters since. But that was my first experience with it. Yeah, I should have played Victor. I actually think that getting a Victor pool is quite hard. But I think I had a pretty good Victor pool. So I had his headpiece and I had his specialization and he had a lot of like blues and good
You
guardian
did, and you
attacks
went Kasai.
and yeah, I saw it and I was like, ooh, suddenly I'm blind and I just want to play Kasai.
Okay.
And I
No
did really
comment. You
bad.
had fun. That's all that matters.
I had fun. Do I regret it? No. Do I know better? Yes. Yeah.
Don't take her advice, people. Don't force. Don't force.
Don't don't do like me. Don't be
No.
like me. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
don't eat people's cards. I didn't eat anyone's cards. It was just a funny little
Sorry.
thing.
No, don't eat people's guts.
Don't do that.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
and
people are gonna
then
think.
I found out that guy was like a local to me. Like that I found out he's one of my locals that
Oh,
I had never met before. And now I was like, well, now every time we go, like every time I see you at Armory, I gotta like eat one of your cards. I'm not gonna do that either, unless maybe it was just like an agility token or something, you know, not specifically agility, just like a token. Like I would never like eat someone's tunic. I wouldn't eat anyone's cards, but like especially not. Like, can you
for anyone
imagine
that's
if
listening,
you
she
were at
wouldn't eat
Armory?
cards at all. I wouldn't eat a
if like
tunic.
someone
Yeah,
just
I hope
ate
not.
you, like if you sat down for your opponent, they just ate your tunic. Anyway, anyway, we're
Anyway,
getting off track. So, oh, oh, do you wanna
let's.
do? What do
What list
you?
of questions do we have?
All right, okay. We only have. Well, let me pull my. Oh, I miss you, Melody. Okay, so
Elaine.
Greg Darth Prentice says, "How are you liking Kasai, Elaine?" I'm Golden Kasai. I really like Kasai. I truthfully am just so happy to feel like I have direction again in this game with a hero. Like after Briar LL'd, I felt like I was just fumbling around CC heroes. And honestly, I didn't even get to try as many as I wanted to, which we'll get to. But I feel like I have like a hero again, and that's a good feeling. And then Greg also asked Melody, what hero have you been
Mm.
enjoying playing in CC?
Well, as I said at the beginning, I haven't actually been playing much CC, but I can say that in Blitz I've been playing Shiana, and I love her so much. So yeah, and I think from a heavy hitters perspective, in the games that I have played in CC, I think maybe Kasai is my favorite. Yeah, but yeah, I haven't played any CC at all, but I love Shiana and Blitz. So looking forward to a skirmish. Hopefully, we'll be getting a skirmish soon, so I can
Mm-hmm.
play her. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
me.
We I know we've talked about it before on the podcast, but I don't know how much. But like we are both Kasai. I get a lot of people just know me for Kasai. Um, but
Mm.
we met playing Kasai games. So fun fact.
We did.
Um,
We did.
let's
That's
see.
right.
We did. This podcast was birthed over a conversation where we one
Yes,
night we played like what 6 mirrors together on Discord,
I
and that
think
was back
so.
before
Yeah.
Talishar existed. hmm And we were like, let's start a podcast. This is fun.
Okay. And the rest is history.
Yeah. Pat Smash says, Kasai deep dive, please and thank you. I've been struggling like a mofo with her and been only right now might be turning a corner. Um, Kasai deep dive. So I will say, Pat, that I feel you. I was really excited for Kasai to come out. This is a new Kasai. It's not the like old Kasai that we've known and loved and playing forever. I still love this Kasai and I plan on playing her forever. However, like it's a little different. The gold generation is something I found difficult and um I've been playing around with a lot of different Kasai builds, and I'm still not super in love with one. However, I will say if you need to go watch AGE's February Open, go back and watch. Ooh, Colin Erickson is the player, and he made top 8 with Kasai CC. It was a CC event, AGE Open, February Open. Colin Erickson, beautiful. Like he had some gorgeous games on Kasai, and you can go watch those. They're really good. And get a little feel for his deck, because I was struggling a bit on Kasai, trying to make a really aggressive build, and it just really wasn't working for the meta right now. And he plays just beautiful mid range Kasai. Um, and his games I've studied I've studied them, and I've kind of started to restructure my deck trying to get a mid-range build. I
Emulate.
don't there's some yeah, yeah. There's some my the deck I'm working on is not quite the same as his, but it I found it inspiring. I found his gameplay really top notch, um, and just really good games. They're just good games to watch anyway. So I would say go watch those for some inspiration because that's the best so far in a CC format that I've seen Kasai done on stream, which I don't know, I haven't seen much of that anyway. So that was a really good example for a Kasai. Do you have anything to add for a Kasai deep dive?
No, I don't. I can't talk about her at all, really. Like I said, the only matches I played was well when we had to build a CC deck at Celebrational, and Elliot and I built quite different decks. So I don't know. Like I think she's really good with um like a mix, not just like I've watched some games on Teleshow and I see a lot of people playing just pure sword attacks, or saber attacks as opposed to mixing it up with some attack actions, which I think where she shines, where there's a balance of the two, and then you can get some gold generation out of those attack actions. But definitely not an expert because I've not played enough of her at all, or seen enough. But I will
Yeah, the
say
goal. I think
that at
what
Celebrate,
is
oh,
no. Go
there's
ahead.
so much lag. I was going to say that at Celebrational, um, I don't know who it was, but anyways, it might have been Flake. I'm not sure. Anyway, because Brian Gottlieb was at Celebration and he watched Elliot and my game, and he said that we built and played her exactly as how she was supposed to be played and built. So I don't know. That's from a dev and creator perspective. But I mean, there's so many ways to build her and play her. But I've also seen where people have tried blood on her hands. Like, no, don't do it.
I actually don't dislike the blood on her hands. I don't think it's like the
Really?
insane. Yeah, yeah. I actually do like it. I don't know that I'd run all three blood on her hands. But I think that it's quite good because you still have Spoils of War, which is just a really good card that you always will want in a warrior, that
Mm,
kind of warrior build. I find the gold trickier. Like I find that I've enjoyed Blood on Our Hands better than Raise an Army in CC because I feel like most of the time I'm not using my copper. My copper's there waiting, and I'm getting it off of Spoils of War, and Outland Skirmish is another one too. Um, as far as gold goes, the gold generation. When I have the gold, I'm using the gold more. Like, I'm not a huge fan of cash in, but sometimes if you just need that resource, you can draw a card. You can do so much because your sword attacks are still going to come in for free. Just so a lot of the times I find myself popping and using that gold, um, and not
to
even
filter.
often getting to more than right. And so then if
Mm.
I pull raise an army, I don't even have like the gold that I feel would make it worth it. Um, and as for with like blood on our hands, my copper's just kind of sitting around. So I don't know.
I
It's
feel
fun.
like there's
It's
a.
different, but there's a lot, like you said.
Sorry, there's so much lag, Elaine.
You're okay. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I feel like there's uh, a sweet spot with her to create an army. Like if it's too late, because obviously you need to swing to give them go again, right? And if you can't give them go again, then all your sabers or whatever you're using go again, then there's no point of even having them. So it's kind of like a mid sort of to late gameish. And then even then, it's I think they've done really well with not making it an easy kind of, um, I don't know, ally generation. It's not an ability, ally generation to have because they swing for three. Three's a lot. That's huge. And if you've got even three of those
Yeah.
up, like it's quite different to dragons, right? You can pop dragons. So if you've got sixes, pop, 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 they're dead. But whereas with these things, you've got to swing with something to kill one. So I think it's finding that sweet spot and figuring out how to generate enough gold and keep the game going to get them off. But I don't know.
No, I agree. And I think that's my point is that I feel like I'm using the gold a lot more during my gameplay. And maybe
Mm,
that's a me thing where I should be more conscious about trying to like save it for raise an army. Whereas like my copper, it just sits there, and there are these cards that generate copper that I want in my deck. Just not even for the copper generation, but because they're good cards. So if I'm having the copper generation, then it comes to the point of why not put uh, one or two copies of Blood on Her Hand in there.
mm.
But and there's a lot of different ways. Like I've seen people successfully play really aggressive builds. I've seen people play successfully the mid range builds. And then we also saw at one build there was a top eight the same weekend as Hartford, and that was like a really kind of a slower build. Like it felt like that was supposed to be like a three cycle type of setup. So it's
Three
interesting. I think
cycle. Oh,
there's many different ways. I would, that's my interpretation of it. But yeah, people have been playing Heart a lot, which I find really interesting, and I have opinions on that.
playing what?
I don't
Sorry.
know. Heart, a Fandel, like
Oh, Heart of Fiendle.
every,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. All right. I think that was a bit of a Kasai, a shortened Kasai deep dive, if that is such a term. But just human Jerkiah ceremonies as what do slash did you plan to bring to your RTNs? So yeah, I right now the RTNs I'm attending are draft, so I'll be drafting. Um, I will. I'll probably be drafting Kasai if I'm being honest. I, but maybe I'll be smart and
We've
draft
just
my
been talking
seed.
about forcing heroes. Oh, Elaine.
Yeah,
Don't take her advice, everyone.
I
Do
know. I'm
not
just
take her
having
advice.
fun. I'm just. I want to
Okay.
play what I
Yeah, but then
love.
you and people get pissed off and
I
they're
know.
like, "Oh, this person doesn't
I
know how to
know. I know.
draft." I hate that.
I know. I
That's
know.
so
I know. I
annoying. But
know.
I mean, as I know, I don't like
It's
people
okay.
that moan because you get new people that play and draft and have no idea. And it's cool that
Mm.
they're there, and people moan about it. And I'm like, just leave them alone. I'm happy to have them here playing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was me
Yeah.
ranting.
I, at an RTN though, I'll do my best to draft what I know I should draft and not just what I love, but we'll see.
Hmm. Cool.
And if I go to a CCRTN, I will be bringing Kasai. Um, the version of the deck we're still doing testing to figure it out, but yeah. How about you, Melody?
Well, like I said earlier, so CC for me, and it'll be all Dromo. And I've got to play some games between now and next weekend to refresh myself.
Mm.
But with Kano doing so well, I love it because Kano's pretty sweet into Dromo. Well, Dromo's pretty sweet into Kano, but we do have a couple of Kano mains that I think are going to be playing. But yeah, I just want to go have fun as well, like and see people that I haven't seen since Queenstown and friends and that. But I do hope to qualify because I do want to go to Nats. So that's on my list of achievements, hopefully. update coming.
Yeah, you're gonna crush it. You're gonna do so well.
Mm, I hope so. Thank you.
This is kind of a fun question, and I don't know my answer right now, but it'll come to me. So maybe if you hear it and you're like, oh, I got an idea, jump on it.
Okay.
Because Big Fleet Jim said, I
Mm-hmm.
heard a rumor that James White says the set to come is the best set. What would the successor to Heavy Hitters need to be the best set in your view? Hmm.
That's a huge question.
Kind of fun.
That's that, and he did say that. Although what James said was, because we did the tour, he said it to a few groups, I think, but we had the tour, and then he's like, the next set is like my favorite set, blah blah blah, and then he said, oh, the set after that is the best set, and I'm like, James, you've said two of the next sets are the best sets in the entire world. Which one is it? And I think it's the next set that we've got coming. I do know that the devs all said that the next set that's coming is their favorite set, and they're a year in advance. So I don't know, like what I've really enjoyed with Heavy Hitters, and I think this is mirrored by many people, is that there's a real balance, I think, between all of the heroes, how they play against each other, like in a limited format for draft and sealed. It's like an amazing experience. They're very like you don't have one hero that I guess is more overpowered than the other in a limited sense. Like we found that at I've not played heaps and heaps. Like I played at Celebration on Queenstown, but the games went really close, and there wasn't one hero that sort of outdid everyone. Obviously, people picked KO was like the pick, and a bit of Victor, but I don't know. I like how can you get better than this set? This is my favorite set since I've been playing to draft and the heroes. I don't know. What about you? What do you think? That's a great question, Jim.
um, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep thinking about what would make that the best set for me because this was already like my ultimate fab wish list. Was just adult Kasai and Heavy Hitters gave that to me. But as far as like to echo what you were saying for limited, it does feel really balanced. I feel like playing limited, like in the calling, and even the in draft, the like at my armory, like I ran the game I lost, I decked out, and in the calling, I got decked out once or twice. I decked my opponent out. It's like the games are going on, and which like I don't know. Some people I might be playing wrong, might not be playing best, but I'm like,
No. Lots of
this
people
set
have
I feel
got
like
their
I've had a
get
lot of
decked.
games. Yeah, it's like everyone, I keep getting decked or they keep getting decked, which I is like both a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, maybe depending on who you ask. Because if from on one standpoint, it feels really balanced in the sense that it's like we are both just going at it, giving it our all, and still being able to play really great close games. In the other sense, it is annoying to get decked out, but I don't know that that might just be a player error. Um, but it's fun. Like I played a lot in the calling. I actually only played mirrors and played against KO. It was either I only played Kasai mirrors or I only played against KO. I did get to play against a Victor in draft at my armory, and when I drafted in Hartford, I did get to play against a Betsy. I still have yet to play a Reinar in a
Mm,
limited format, but all the other games, yeah, there was no I don't have the sense of when I sit down in front of a hero, I feel more like, ugh, you know, I don't want to play this matchup. Um, it was
yes,
I
yes.
don't get that from this set. They when you're playing the limited
It's an
format,
even
it all
playing
feels pretty
field.
balanced. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how I feel about it too. I had another point, but I've forgotten what I was going to say. No, I think I don't know how they could improve it because another great aspect of the set is that it's really beginner friendly. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we've got newbies that have just started. Like when I played maybe a month ago, I think there was a guy who came and played pre-release, and it was the second time playing Fab ever, and he played really well. And I'm like, how long have you been playing for? He's like, this is my second game. I'm like, oh my god, okay. Like, just and if we compare that to the likes of Bright Lights, even I struggled with Bright Lights at the very beginning. It was very complex, I think, and some of the hero abilities and trying to figure shit out. Whereas with this, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to do this, you're going to do that,
Yeah,
you're going to come in big. And I think you're talking about getting fatigued, and I think that's probably wise because people are blocking all the time as well. So, but I like
yeah.
that it's really beginner friendly. Um, I think that's great for new players.
I also, with this set, and it has nothing to do with the play style or anything, but I have to commend LSS. I love the we still haven't gotten like the lore for this set, so lore is not the right word, but just the environment they've created around heavy hitters like has
Yes,
made it such a fun and engaging experience with the death match, like the actual making it
yes,
feel like we're actually in a death match arena and they're keeping track of wins and there's going to be some kind of like you know prize thing for everyone who won the deathmatch arena. Like that just it feels so cool and exciting. And even they had the content creators participate, which I was moving so I couldn't do it. And I was moving so we couldn't do it even then. They did that song. Like, it's just that they created
yes,
such this like fun environment to bring the the theatrics of heavy hitters to life,
yep.
and I hope that's something we see moving forward with sets to come. Is that kind of engagement is really exciting. I think
I
to
agree,
new
Elaine.
players to old players, it's just exciting. It's fun. I love
Yes,
it. Yeah.
I haven't thought about that, but
So
that you're right. You're 100% right. I think that's really cool.
as far as the next set, I hope to keep seeing theatrics. For I don't want it to be the all arcane set. I really don't. Yeah, I'm scared of
It's
that
not.
set.
It's not.
I'm okay. Um, but I would like to see that theatrics keep coming. I'd like to see. I liked how they did, and of course, there's bias in this answer. For me, but I liked how they gave us new heroes and they gave us these old heroes reinvented, like the grown up KO and
Mm,
grown up Kasai. But then they also gave us new heroes. I think there was a lot of diversity amongst the heroes. I think they gave us new mechanics that were beginner friendly. Like I think these new mechanics are, and this is nothing against bright lights, but I think the new mechanics introduced in heavy hitter feel more beginner friendly, and they also feel very
absolutely, they are.
the theatrics are still, yeah, they feel more beginner friendly and they feel more like engaging between the two players. When you're clashing and
Yes.
stuff, there's um
Yeah. And you're
that
flipping your
kind of
card. I'm like,
engagement where as a
no.
yeah, yeah. As far as we're in bright lights, the new mechanics were kind of like I'm doing them on my turn and they affect me. Where these new mechanics
Mm,
feel a little bit more engaging between the two players, a little bit more, you know, and
yeah.
I like that. So those are things I'd like to see carried on the new set. Um, as far as ways they can improve about it, I don't know. This is why I'm not a dev.
No, neither.
I what would make me happy to see? I think I'd like to see something like this set, but with talents, and I think you could do some cool theatrics and lore with that.
I like it.
Do you have any other opinions?
No, I just hope to see that. I can't comprehend what they could do better. Like again, I'm not a dev, but I just hope to see more of what we've already seen. Um, yeah. Sorry, Jim, that's not really an answer, but like I think they've really raised the bar with this set. And the whole, the whole
Mm,
environment, the whole
yeah.
thematics, like you've talked about, and the engagement, because engagement was huge. Like even at, and I keep going back to Queenstown and Celebrational and stuff. Like I'd be like, "I'll see you in the arena." When I was talking to people, like it
Yeah.
was just part of, like I don't know. And I was like, "Do I sound like a dork? I don't know," but that's how I feel. I'm like, we're in the deathmatch arena, and yeah, so and that's how we were kind of talking to each other. So it was kind of really embedded, and we felt like we were a part of this this whole world, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's me.
Um, we have Optimus TCG on Twitter, who, if you don't know Melody, if you saw, I posted that really beautiful Kasai gold coin that was like a custom token. Optimus TCG is the artist that did that. I got to meet him in Hartford. I almost said Queenstown, Hartford, and just lovely person. They asked some questions on Twitter, and we'll go through those, and then we can get into Flake's question, which was just what's y'all's announcement for today, and we're gonna get to that. No spoilers. And these are just like quick little questions about heavy hitters. So first one, what's been your favorite heavy hitters player to play in limited so far? Um, biased answer
Player
because
or
I've only
hero?
played Kasai. Hero. Heavy hitters
Hero.
hero. What's been your favorite heavy hitters hero to play in limited so far? I've only played Kasai, and I that's because I think that I know that Kasai would be my favorite. But we'll get in. Maybe I'll try some more in my RTNs if I during draft have to adjust and draft my seat. What about you?
Mm-hmm. Uh, Betsy. I've really enjoyed Betsy, and I've not. Unfortunately, I haven't played any draft, so it's been sealed. Sealed, 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 and I've loved playing Betsy. I love her overpower. Although overpower in the set, I think that's another great thing as well in making it balanced is that
Mm,
people can still block with half, three quarters, or their whole hand because overpower doesn't kick in because they're using reaction cards or whatever. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, definitely her. I tried KO, but he wasn't for me, and I tried Kasai, but I never got good enough sealed pool like to actually play it properly. So I played Betsy. I've played a lot of Betsy, and I like it.
I will say I think I would enjoy KO. I think that kind of chaos energy speaks to me as a person, and I think I'd actually enjoy it. I did like
I'm not gonna
I love
disagree.
watching people play KO. Is like one of my favorite things ever. Just because it's like, wow, this is fun. And I do think I would enjoy it. I'm just enjoying. I'm just like, let me have my moment with Kasai. I've wanted this forever, and I'm sorry that I'm forcing her and everything, but it's just what I want to do. But for our teams and stuff, it can get more serious. Um, Optimus CCG also asks, which new heavy hitter cards have the best art?
Ooh, I really like standing orders art. Um, let's have a look.
I really like, and not to, you know, I can't think of the expression I'm trying to say, but the new young Kasai, I really love her art. Um, I also really
No,
like,
belly dancer Kasai.
yeah, I love Betsy. Betsy's art, I love. Um,
Yes.
I the Rune Blade card. What's the name of it? I
Yes.
think that one's quite
Uh,
beautiful.
that is a beautiful card. They had those
Yeah.
mats at Queenstown. I didn't have
Oh,
enough
really?
tickets,
Wow. Oh,
mm, sadly. But I'm just having a look at the card art. I think I definitely down with the Rune Blade, but where is it? I really like Prime to
let me take a
Fight.
look.
Prime to
Time to
Fight
fight.
is, man, the detail in that
The
I think is
adult
really
Kasai too.
cool.
I love both the Kasais.
I love Adult Kasai. Yes, Adult Kasai and Prime to Fight I think are my two faves. Um, I'm just having a look to see if there's anything else. Nah,
I do
Adult Kasai
like
is
the
so kick
art of
ass.
um Hood of the Red Sand, our spoiler card. I like that art too. The hood looks so much. It's very reminiscent of to me of Sash of Sanakai, which I
Yes, it is.
cosplayed, and
Yeah,
that's why
that's what I
I'm
thought.
so familiar with it. Yeah. Um.
Sonata Galaxia, that's
Oh,
what it's called.
Shift the Tide of Battle.
Yes.
That's the one
She's standing
that
up and she's like, wow.
yeah, it was
I think
James's
my
daughter did that
favorites.
cosplay.
Yes, she did.
Hmm.
Yes, she did. She's so hilarious. I like Judge, Jury, Executioner. It reminds me of that
Okay.
movie, the series of movies. What's those? What are those movies? Fuck, I can't. Excuse my language. I can't remember. Judge, Jury, Sonata Galaxia. I like Standing Order as well. I think that's really cool. Adult Kasai,
Okay.
and that's like more than one, but
I know. I also named more than one, and I'm gonna name one more. The Goblet, the Blood Run, the
of
Goblet
Blood
one.
Run. Yeah,
It's just very different for
yeah,
flesh. It feels
it
different.
is.
And that I find intriguing more than anything. I think.
It's curious. Yes.
Yeah. All right, we've got
Yeah.
one more question from Optimus TCG before we jump into talking about, I guess, the main point of today. But the question is, who's your prediction to be the first hero to reach LL this year?
Ooh. To reach out. So that's like doesn't matter CC or Blitz. Yeah.
Oh, maybe not, but I was
I
thinking CC.
I have no idea. I think it's and I think this is another great thing that Heavy Hitters has done is people have become so passionate about the heroes in the set that they're trying other heroes, and we've got now we have such a wide open meta. I think I know people haven't fully refined and gotten the best out of them. But I'm going to be honest, I think it's too hard for me to predict based on where we are right now. And if the next set is anything like this, then we're going to have another big wide open meta, which is brilliant. So I don't know. I'd like to say
If you had to
Dromai because I
take,
love Dromai, but Dromai is just not converting.
yeah, Dromai was one of my first thoughts, Dromai or Azalea, but it's a little difficult because the meta's changed so much with Heavy Hitters release. Like I think before Heavy Hitters, I definitely would have said Dromai or Azalea. And now like suddenly apparently Kano is like
Yeah,
killing
Kano's
people.
kicking ass.
I don't think Kano will LL this year. I mean, he
I don't
could, but
think he
that's
will
not on my
either.
bingo card. Who knows? I hope it's not Kasai, but yeah, pre heavy hitters, I would have said Dromai or Azalea. After heavy hitters, I don't know. Maybe still one of those two. I don't know. What about Guardian? What about Bravo.
Nah. Sorry, Bravo
I don't
mains. I
think
just
so,
don't think he's
no.
got it in him. Well, at this, if
Yeah.
we're going to look at it right at this point in time, like we haven't seen any other sets, I I have no idea. That's my answer. Is I
Yeah.
just don't know. Sorry,
It's really hard.
I can't predict. Yeah, it's tough.
That's a tough one. All right.
Mm.
So,
Good
Melody, what
questions.
else do we need?
Mm.
Yeah, really fun questions. Thank you guys.
Yes.
What else do we need to talk about?
We need to talk about it's not a change in direction that we're going in with the pod. We're going to try something new and fun and a little bit scary. Um, and so Elaine talked earlier about she created a poll for us and asked people what they wanted. And we've been hearing a lot. There seems to be a couple of camps, but we've heard a lot of, we've had lots of feedback ever since we started our pod. Oh, do more, like gameplay and strategy and all that sort of stuff. And there's already loads of amazing content just like that out there. Like you can Google it, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Twitter, and you'll see lots of experts that already do that. Um, and I don't know about you, Elaine, but I don't consider myself an expert in any of those. But
Nope.
it's what a lot of people have asked for. And as a result of this Twitter poll, the biggest thing that came up was gameplay. And saying that though, it's not capturing everyone. So we know that some of you that are listening, like, and have told us that, you like our podcast because we aren't that. Um, we are, and we're something a little bit different to what's out there. So we've decided to give something else a go. Elaine, did you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So like Melody said, we don't want to change what our podcast is about. We know that you guys want to see gameplay. We did not start this podcast to claim to be experts, flesh and blood players. We love flesh and blood. We love playing it. We're not bad. We can hold our own most of the time. But we're not experts by any means. And I kind of mentioned how after Briar I was fumbling around, trying different heroes, but really not trying as many heroes as I would like to try. So we've come up with a little plan that I think is a little scary for us. However, one mention, like when we did start this podcast, we wanted to help give new players and old players alike confidence in the game. So we're putting ourselves out there. And we're gonna do something that, yeah, we're a little terrified to do. I think it might be
Mm.
funny for you guys to watch. It'll be embarrassing for
God.
us in some ways, but that's part of it, right? We're just part of it is that we're doing this so that it doesn't seem scary to other people because trying new heroes is scary. So we're gonna start a series where we invite an expert on the podcast, an expert, someone who is like known for playing a hero, someone who really loves a hero, whatever it may be, but someone who is, yeah, like an expert in a certain hero. We'll invite them on the podcast, and just give them one. We'll have them give us a quick rundown on that hero, on that deck, what it's trying to accomplish, best matchups, worst matchups, just just quick overview. And then we will play a game, and sometimes we might have that person try and give us some direction, or we might just fumble around ourselves. But either Melody or myself will try out the hero, try out the new deck, and we'll look like fools, and we'll probably lose a lot. But we're doing something new. We're trying new heroes, and we're gonna give you guys hopefully like it'll be a learning experience for I think y'all and for us as we try these new heroes. So
Mm.
one of us will play the new deck, the other one will play whatever deck we choose to play. But yeah, I think that I've tried when I said like thinking about it, I've never played a CC game as Viscera. I've never played a CC game as Bravo. I've never played a CC game as Droma. There's a lot of heroes in like these CC
Wow.
formats that I've never played. And so because I find a deck that I like and then I stick to that deck, I think as most people do. And
Mm,
I'm not someone who necessarily like plays whatever is meta. I like to play what I enjoy. But I wanna learn more about other heroes. Even though I love my girl Kasai,
same.
I want to try other heroes. I will. Melody and I are both willing to embarrass ourselves and be bad players on the internet for the sake of y'all. Getting a few laughs, but hopefully more importantly, like learning some stuff. And I hope
Mm,
it's just like
mm-hmm.
I don't think people talk enough about how scary it is to try a new hero for the first time, especially like a new hero for you when it's not. It's like Bravo's not a new hero, but it'll be a new hero for me, and that's almost scarier because there are a lot of people who know how that deck should be played, and I've never tried to play it, and it'll be scary to like put myself in a position of like, oh, time to show the world how bad I am at Bravo because I've never tried it before, but I'm trying to learn about it. So we're gonna do a little, yeah. We're gonna put ourselves through the flesh and blood gauntlet, as we've been saying. Um, and I will say that we are also going to be incorporating in videos with guests, like just our usual content, videos with just the two of us sprinkled throughout the series, because this will be a long series because there's a lot of heroes in Flesh and Blood. Um, so we're not fully divulging from our usual content either. We're just trying something new that'll put us more on a regular content base, so we're not also fumbling around trying to always find a relevant topic for every week, which feels hard to do, but we'll still sprinkle those in there into this Fab Gauntlet series that we'll be starting. I'm excited about it. I'm really nervous about it. And please be nice to us. But yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun.
I'm excited and nervous too. And I'm sure people will be really nice. And I hope that it inspires people,
Yeah.
through our amazing gameplay. But, but learning, talking to an expert, seeing us play it. And I'd really love to get feedback from people, like on how they've gone. Like maybe we can put out a challenge to people and be like, right, okay, for the next couple of weeks, give this hero a go. How did you go? And get feedback from the community about what they thought, because I I'm just like you. Like I've not played a lot of other heroes. I have played some, but maybe once or twice, not heaps. But I really enjoyed. We did a series at one of my game stores here where everyone picked a random. Oh no, it wasn't random. Everyone picked a blitz deck, and we played it for weeks and weeks. I think I've talked about it before, but anyway, I picked Dash because I've never played Mechanologist before ever, and ended up basically winning. I wasted everyone for like 10, 12 weeks. Not that that was the point. It was learning a new hero, but I was like, oh my God, I never would have ever in a million years have played Mechanologists. That would not have been my choice. I would have gone straight to probably Viz or something else. But I was like, nah, I want to try something new. And I loved it. And now I, I'm not going to say I'm an expert at Dash, but I have a good understanding of her. And so I think this is going to be, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be scary, but it's going to be really cool. And it's going to help. We hope that, that it helps you guys out there watching to learn and to maybe build a bit of confidence to give whatever heroes we're playing a go.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited. I think that it'll also hopefully just like, even if we don't find a new hero that we really love and click with, I think it'll give us a better understanding of each hero's play style and like what, because it's different than I know each hero's like gameplay against me, but it is different. Like I feel like if you can pilot the deck you're playing against, you can play better against that deck. And so I feel like this is just hopefully in turn will make us better players. Um, And yeah, I
Oh,
hope it just
absolutely,
gives people the
definitely will.
confidence to try new things. Yeah.
I think
So
that's
I'm
a
pretty
great
excited about it.
advantage.
Mm.
Yes. Oh, and that's what else we wanted to ask everyone, right? Is if you have any um if you think about the world of Wraith and all the heroes that we've got out there in CC, if you have an expert in mind, like someone you think that'd be great to have on the show, please drop their name in the comments, maybe a link to their profile on Twitter or wherever, or you can message us on Twitter, private message us, whatever, with who you think might be great to have on the show, like for like Azalea or KO or whomever, and then we'll have a look at the list and we'll go from there and we'll start inviting people. Exciting.
Yes, yes, yes. You can reach out to Melody. You can reach out to my Twitter. You can reach out to Melody's Twitter. You can reach out to our channel's Twitter, Pitch Perfect's Twitter. You can reach out on Discord. You can put it in the comments. I will make sure our Twitters are always in the below in down in the description below. I'll make sure that the Discord link is it's usually in there too. I'll make sure that's in there. And yeah, we're just excited to bring you guys some new content as well as some old new content, and just get back into it. Like we said at the beginning, we know we've been saying, oh, we're getting back into it for a while right now, but I hope that you guys see the effort because there's the channel will start updating, it'll start looking shinier and newer, and yeah, we're getting into it. And thank you for listening today. I think that's all that we have. Do you have
Yes,
anything else to add, Melody?
it is. No, no. Also, tell us what you think of our new intro that Elaine put together because she's so talented.
No. I'm not, but I try my best to edit this,
Yes,
and
you
I'm
are.
trying my
Shh.
best to get better at editing it. So,
All right, but we
yeah.
hope that you've enjoyed our
All
little
right. Well, if
update
that's
and our
all,
korero lag.
mm, bye. Just
Ka kite
wave,
bye.
smile and wave,
Just yeah, just
smile
wave.
and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.